Hey, it's Mike Weller with the Weller Group at Keller Williams here. Just reaching out, wanted to update you on the tax proposals that are making their way through Congress. They do have some pretty serious, significant effects potentially on the real estate market. Actually, this tax plan is probably the singular biggest variable that can influence the real estate market that we have seen in the last 6 years since we entered recovery from the bubble and the recession. So some of the specifics, some of the real estate specifics of these tax plans, there's two of them. There's two plans that have been passed, one in the House, one in the Senate. Now they need to reconcile them. So we still don't know what the final version will look like, but one of the big ones is the proposal to reduce the mortgage interest deduction to $500,000. It's currently at $1 million, and that's what the Senate plan includes. But the House plan is to reduce it to $500,000. That will not affect a lot of the smaller real estate markets and the majority of the markets across the country. It will have a big effect here in Orange County, LA County, Southern California. So we're definitely keeping an eye on that one very closely. Aside from reducing it to 500,000, it looks like it's going to be eliminated for second properties, second homes. So you've always been able to write off your mortgage on the second home up until now. It looks like that probably will be going away, even if they do maintain the current $1 million mortgage interest deduction, which is part of the Senate plan. So besides for that, one of the other big areas is looks like there's potentially going to be a limit of $10,000 per year on a write-off for property tax. Again, that's not going to affect a lot of real estate markets. It will have a pretty big effect here in Southern California as well. So once it depends on exactly where you're at and what the tax jurisdiction is, but once you get to around the $800,000 or $850,000 range, that's when you start to hit the property tax number over $1 million, and in a lot of areas that's the average or median price of a single family home right now. So that is going to hit right down the middle of our market. So and then one of the other areas that is pretty significant, this one is not getting as much coverage by the press, but currently you only have to live in your house for 2 years in order to be exempt from a capital gain when you sell it. So in other words, if it's your primary residence and you've lived there for at least 2 years or 2 of the last 5 years, you have a capital gain exemption. There is a limit on that, but it's a pretty significant capital gain exemption. Both proposals potentially change the current 2-year period to 5 years, and that is pretty significant. There are a lot of people that do buy a home, live in it for a few years, and then they're ready to move up to a bigger home. They're now facing a capital gain tax or potentially just being stuck in their property. So those are kind of the big areas where the current tax proposals are potentially affecting the real estate market here in Southern California. We're keeping a very close eye on this, and when something finally does get worked out and gets passed and we have the final version, we will be reaching back out with the specifics, along with a little bit more of what our thoughts are on how those specifics are going to affect the different segments of the market, the higher price ranges, the median price ranges, and the lower entry level price ranges. It will have an effect on all of those areas. Probably the higher price ranges initially, but over time, it certainly will trickle into the entire real estate market here in Southern California. So if you have any questions about the tax plan and how it may affect you, feel free to reach out anytime, 714-989-6176. We always love to hear from you.